Chiefs Raiders, which I got to be honest, I just thought the Chiefs defense would win this game by itself, and the Chiefs would just kind of have the ball a lot. It wouldn't be that fun of a game. It came out at 10 o'clock in the morning, West Coast time. Just seemed like your classic. It's 9-0 in the third quarter, and the Raiders have 50 yards rushing. That's kind of what the game was, except for the Chiefs offense part. The Raiders, what was that stat? When was Aiden O'Connell's last completion? Was
first quarter.
In first quarter, that was it. But the Chiefs
had 9 completions the whole game. It was a bizarre game.
What did they do? 4.2 yards per play for the Chiefs. And I thought the body language was, we're taping this as the Suns are playing the Mavericks right now. The Suns have the worst body language in the NBA right now of any good team. The Chiefs' body language, I can't tell if it's like we have married couples in our lives who are like, oh, they're fighting again, but it feels like a bit. Like that deep down, they love each other. And then there's the married couples where you're like, oh man, they're fighting again. This is fucking awkward. Bob might be sleeping on our living room couch tonight. To me, the Chiefs have more married couple that still loves each other fighting energy, but the body language is awful.
It's so funny you say that. My wife and I think of that just by looking at the Christmas cards. We could tell the body language. No, we don't even have to see them at the party, but
Christmas language, Christmas card body language doctor.
Yeah, just analyzing the cards. But yeah, you're right, man. They were awful. He's running for his life. He had to make every play work. I thought Romo called a good game. It was like he's gonna have to make it work with his legs if they're gonna win this. And yet, the Raiders didn't score an offensive point, and they won that game. Didn't complete a pass. If you saw that box score, how much would you have put on the Chiefs money line?
It was one of those where you could have gone to quickly take a shower and you come back and the Raiders have 15 more points or whatever they had. What happened? I've made this point before, but I'm going to make it more strongly now. This Chiefs team really reminds me of Brady's last season with the Pats, where it all looked the same. Structurally, it was the same. Belichick, Brady, the Pats had just won the Super Bowl. And we kind of knew something was wrong the entire second half of the season, but didn't want to admit it. Then they lost the Fitzpatrick game. Pats were 12-4 that year. They lost in round 1, 20-13 to Tennessee. KC's 9-6 this year. The Pats lost. They went 4-4 in their last 8, including the playoff game. The Chiefs are 3-5 in their last 8, which is I couldn't believe that when I was like, man, they're probably 500 in their last 8. It's worse. They're 3-5. The Pats had the crap running backs. It was like Sony Michel, Rex Burkhead, the last years of James White. Chiefs, same thing. It's just, it's like, oh my God, Isaiah Pacheco's out. This is like a huge thing for them. They had no Tyreek this year. Pats didn't have Gronk because that was the year he retired. Edelman is kind of the Kelsey of that Pats team. And then the rest of the Pats receivers, it was like Philip Dorsett, washed up Josh Gordon. Jacoby Myers was a rookie. That was the year they thought they were going to get Antonio Brown, and it fell through. And it just reminds me of that, where Mahomes had really great moments in the game today, but his receivers are never open. And he's just buying himself 8, 9, 10 seconds, and it just doesn't matter. And I to me, it's not an overreaction to say, I just think this team, I just don't think they have it. To me, this is a let's bet against them round 1 situation officially.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought going into this week, I'm like, all right, Andy Reid, smart, maybe like Popovich, maybe my basketball talk, but maybe he's like, he knows.
I knew you'd bring basketball. Jesus Christ.
By the way, I didn't even know there was a game going on now. Should we postpone it? Should we watch that?
Fine. I don't
Mavericks
have it on
game? Are you sure?
No, it's fine. I'm taking it.
No, I was thinking like Andy Reid, maybe he's learned and it's like, all right, we don't want to peak too early, which is what some of these teams do. So they'll turn it on today. I thought was the day they would turn it on. I honestly don't think like Mahomes is confident going to any of those receivers. He had a head start with Kadarius Toney being out. He didn't have to worry about that disaster show. But even so, they did nothing offensively. Really bad.
The Pats receiving yards that year, Edelman had 1,100. So that's basically where Kelsey's going to end up. Their second receiver, the 2019 Pats, was James White with 645 yards.
Right.
Dorsett, 397. Jacoby Myers, 359. Josh Gordon, 287. And they traded for Mohamed Sanu midseason. He gave them 207. when you don't have the weapons, you don't have the weapons. Like to me, I was thinking in my head, this is more like the 2006 Pats where Brady dragged them to the AFC title game with nobody. It feels more like 2019. They don't have it. They had a great run. This is a 5-year run, but somebody's going to beat them. I
still don't really get it because they won a Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill, right? So it doesn't completely add up, except it all just goes away at once.
Kelsey's worse. There's no question.
Yeah.
He's worse. He's not getting open in the same ways. And I don't know. They seemed a little more banged up on both sides. They've had some injury luck. And I don't think they hit the draft this year the same way. Last year, they crushed the draft. And all those dudes were helping right away. It doesn't seem like they've had the same success
You
this
think
year.
if you ask Kelsey if he could be himself from 2020 or himself from this year, what would he say?
Does he get Taylor Swift with this year?
He's himself from 2020.
I think he'd probably be in better position. So he doesn't have Taylor Swift in 2020.
No Taylor Swift, but he's a good football player.
He's super happy. He's a two-time champion, and he's dating Taylor Swift.
All right.
He's taking now.
I wish I had known
He's
that.
probably thinking like, man, I don't know how much more I want to do this. When he whipped the helmet down,